Hi, everybody. It's me, Miss Morgan. I'm so excited to be here tonight. Once again, I am your Miss Gay Pennsylvania America 2023. Tonight is a very special evening for me tonight because I have the fabulous, the best, the amazing, your reigning Miss Gay America 2024, Desi Love Blakes. But before we get to that, I'd love to just give you a quick update on everything that's happening in Pennsylvania. So right now I have completed my 7 prelims to go into the state pageant. I'm so excited. It's been overwhelming. It's been a great year. I've met so many amazing contestants, some that got their ticket to the PA pageant, but some also who did not. And I hope they all come back next year because they were all fabulous and they just blew me away with their talents and they were all their authentic selves. So real quick, I just want to give a shout out to all my gals that are going to be competing this year for Miss Gay Pennsylvania America 2024. We started with New Hope at the very beginning of my year, and the winner of Miss Gay New Hope is Katrina Escalarza, excuse me, Katrina. And the first alternate is Jayla Rosemore. Then we moved on to Central Pennsylvania, which is where I stepped down, and we had the fabulous Anita Dixon win, and her first alternate is Nikita Sin. The third one that I did was Miss Gay Philadelphia America 2024, and the winner that was Lucy Moth, and her first alternate is Ziavara Via. We also had, after that, so that was New Hope, we had Central, we had Philly, we had NEPA. Oh, that's right, NEPA. That was a good one too. We had Miss Trixie DeFlair take the crown for that, and her first alternate was Calliope. That's right. Oh, so many girls. It was so fabulous. And who else did we have? So after that, we did Harrisburg, which who won the Puss, that's her name. I wanted to make sure I said it correctly and not ruin that one. And then we have her first alternate, which is Eileen O'Brennan. Then we went to Gettysburg, which that was Mandy Mango, and her first alternate was Kendra Leese. So excited for them as well. And our final one, which was then we had that was Gettysburg, and then our final one was in Pittsburgh, which we just had our person crowned. That was Mia Ho, and then also her first alternate, which was Alexandra. That's fabulous. See, now listen, here's the thing. It has been such a wonderful, fabulous ride that I've been on, that these fabulous queens are going to come and take over Pennsylvania on November 16th. So definitely make sure you save the date, come out. If you go to MissGayPennsylvaniaAmerica.com, the tickets are on sale now. You can get your merch, as well as we are doing a review show the night before if you want to come check us out. But after I just butchered everyone's names, because that is not my strong suit, but definitely check out the Pennsylvania page, because I'll tell you, you'll be able to see all the fabulous queens and who are competing, and you can root for your faves. But let's bring on our fabulous queen tonight, who is your reigning Miss Gay America 2024. Her name is Desi Love Blake.
Hi.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Did you get to hear me butcher everyone's names that I was going through?
I did.
It was just because, you know what? It was I was so blessed this year to have 7 prelims in Pennsylvania, which is just a mind-blowing amount of prelims. And it was just every time it was just a whole group of people, and they were just so fabulous, and they all blew me away. That just I was reflecting as I was talking, so it was a little harder. And I'm sure you get it because you do all your prelims too. You've done what, I think 5 prelims so far for the states.
For states and regionals, I've done a total of 11 prelims.
You bet. And I know you're a gal on the go. I know you just did an orientation, and you're about to go to a pageant tomorrow, right?
Saturday, yes,
Saturday. I love it, but that means you're doing your thing, and you're making America proud, which is absolutely fabulous. So I don't want to take too much of your time tonight, because I know you're a working gal, but I'm just blessed and thankful that you are taking a little bit of time to come chat with me and the viewers to just kind of get a little bit more about what excellence is, and a little bit about the Miss Gay America pageant, because that will be right around the corner in January. So I know. I will not take that away from you, my love. Trust me, I get it. November 16th is Pennsylvania's already, and it's just wild. But it's a wonderful thing too, because I'm sure you get to meet a lot of fun people, and make a lot of fun connections. And there's just moments that you're not going to forget for the rest of your life. So,
For sure, for sure.
and actually, since we're kind of on that, is there anything that you've, just that you just can think of as like one of your fabulous experiences so far that like maybe a future Miss Gay America gets to look forward to?
Um, I really think it's great to be able to travel and meet so many different people, like so many new queens and so many veteran queens, people that maybe have come into your town and worked with you, but you don't really get to see that often. So it's kind of like all the people you get to see at nationals in January, you get to see a little bit of them all year long, and so that's kind of a very special reward because there's some former Miss Gay Americas that I really enjoy being around, and there's even some people that I've competed with, such as yourself, that I get to be around. So that's really the best part of the year for me. And I love to travel, so being able to see all the different places, and by see all the different places, I mean hotel and bar walls. But other than that, great.
I mean, you're not in a hotel right now, right? You're at home
Just
lounging.
landed like 2 hours ago.
That's wonderful. You're amazing. And once again, I thank you so much for joining tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So I figure how we would kind of direct this is I know that you've been doing orientations and you know the ins and outs. We've been doing it all year so far. And I'm thinking what we do is we just kind of like pick apart each one a little bit, and we don't have to go through our spiels of how we do it, but maybe just highlight some goods that you've noticed maybe in the past 11 that you've done so far. And as well as I can chime in too. And we can kind of just pop around and see where we go.
Okay, great.
So I know that personal interview can kind of be challenging for people that aren't used to speaking outside of their illusion, because sometimes I feel that people, when they have their illusion, that's where they get their confidence from, which is great because that's their art, that's their craft, and that's awesome. So I kind of always tell people right before they go into their personal interview, which is 7 minutes, that they should take a nice deep breath and just remember to be their authentic self. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
Yeah, for me, like the thing that I'm enjoying most about, well, not most, but one thing that I'm enjoying about interview this year is that it's now changed to personal interview. It's no longer a male interview. So if we have trans contestants or non-binary contestants, we really have to allow them to be themselves. So not everybody has to be suited up in a suit with a tie and be all business if that's not how you live your everyday life. We really want your true authentic self. So if in a suit is not how you live your everyday life or how you're comfortable if you were to go to a business meeting, then I'm so grateful that people are able to be who they are, because I feel like it's really allowed people to let down their walls and show us who they are as a person and not feel so, because even though we can say we're allowing trans individuals to compete, but if we're making them come in there in a suit, then we're really binding them and not letting them have the freedom to be themselves. So that's what I'm really grateful about the personal interview and not the male interview aspect of it anymore. And one thing that kind of happened, it was kind of weird, is, we have to adjust our language in the Miss Gay America contestant chat. Every year it's like a tradition for people to post like their male pictures. And, one of the contestants posted, everybody post your male pictures. And I kind of thought about it for a second. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Because a couple of contestants were like, I don't have male pictures. Are you still there? Did I lose
I'm
you?
here.
I'm
Oh,
so
no, you're here.
So we don't have, it's not necessarily males all anymore. So
Mhm.
we had to change our wording and say, show us your best out of face picture. So those are learning things that come with these kind of changes, but that I'm happy that are being made.
And I think that's fantastic. Even with America doing the Femme division now, which will be coming around in January as well, but we won't talk about January, I promise. But I just think it's fabulous that, everyone is having their space. And I think that it's very inclusive, which I love that as well. I do remember a nice conversation we had about, having trans contestants or contestants that identify as female who are able to now, or who are able to compete and do their personal interview. And I loved how you said that they can come in a dress if they want to.
You had one at your city prelims, right?
I had
Yeah.
two different prelims I did, and I was just so impressed. And I actually told the one contestant that we had discussed that they could wear whatever they want. They could wear a dress, and they came in a fierce pink suit. And I was like, you took the mark there. That was impressive to me because you still kept it business, but you gave your femininity, and I can appreciate that. And I actually give them a lot of respect because not only is personal interview the first thing you do, but it's first thing in the morning, afternoon. So you come in and then you have to really shift your brain to apply for the job and also showcase who you are at the same time. And they did that also being a little bit nervous about being their authentic self.
Right.
So I
And
was
even
sorry.
if you're wearing a suit, like if you have a loud personality, you're able to wear a loud suit now. You don't have to wear like a black suit and a white shirt and a red tie or blue tie. You know, you can show your personality in your
Right.
interview. I don't advise like if you are kind of shy and demure, then don't come in, you know, with this loud suit. Kind of match your look with what your personality is. So when you walk in the door, the judges are already like, okay, I see what I'm about to get from this person before you even open your mouth.
I agree. I love it. It was actually just a huge honor to be able to listen to everyone this year, but also because I never had that opportunity before. So I heard everyone being vulnerable. I heard everyone putting their heart out there, but also keeping it business too. And that's one thing that I hope that people take away from when I do these streams is that not only is it great to tell about yourself, but you're also here to apply for the job too.
Right.
And
Make it a
how
conversation.
what's that?
Make it a conversation. Like, don't think of it as going into like a business interview or going, yes, you're going to go because you're applying for a job. But you still want to have a conversation because in this job, it's kind of like it's kind of like a sales job where you have to interact with other contestants and promoters and all these different people. So
Mhm.
they have to make sure that you have the personality that is going to be able to connect on the level they need you to have these jobs. So if you're sitting there and you are just giving a straight face, and that was my biggest problem for the longest time. I competed at Miss Gay America 5 different times with a great interview, but it never won because I didn't have that personality side of it. You know, I was always missing that. And to be honest, last year when I qualified in November, it was 2 months before Miss Gay America, and the head judge my critiques said that you'll never win Miss Gay America with that interview, and it like really struck a chord. And I panicked because I only had 2 weeks to go. But what
Yeah.
he meant was you're saying all the right things, and but there's no way there's no personality coming out. You know, there's no smile, there's no, so make it a conversation. Make sure they get to know who you are as a person and let that wall down.
Yeah. So I have to ask then, how did you overcome that for yourself? And
Um,
what did that look like?
I just had to know that I was allowed and had permission to be who I am every day and that they weren't going to count off for that. And the biggest thing is when I looked at the subcategories and I looked at the scoring sheet, there was nowhere on it that said, did you say the right thing or do I agree with your answer? There's nowhere on there that says, does your answer the same as my opinion? There's nothing that says that. It says, do you communicate well? And did
Yeah.
you answer the question? So be
I
your true self and give your true answer because there's no category for them to judge you on if they agree with you or not.
That's a nice gem, and I hope everyone hears that because that's a good one. Because I didn't know that. You just taught me
Right.
something. Meaning I feel like sometimes everyone's looking for the right answer to appease everyone, but really the right answer is what's coming from your authentic self, which is what I preach about all the time, is being your authentic self.
We're
So
not looking for someone specific. We're looking for you. We're looking for the right person. And if we don't see the right person, if we see the robot of the same person because you're trying to be what you think they want you to be, is
Mhm.
what I tried to do, it's not going to work. And you're just going to spin your wheels and spend a bunch of money.
I agree. I agree. I love it. So we can we'll push forward to the next category, but I do want to ask, is there anything as far as dress attire? Now we talked about now you can be a little bit more freedom to be a little bit louder. You can be feminine. You can be classic, masculine look or however you identify yourself. But is there anything that you would say would be too much?
Well, the subcategory that is an interview is general appearance. It's 25 points of the 100. So you are being judged with how you look and what you have on. So
Mhm.
you still want to give a polished look. You still want to make sure your shoes are like professional shoes. They're not tennis shoes that you're wearing. You want to make sure that you don't have wrinkles, that things are pressed and that things look good. So yes, you can come in an outfit that you want to wear, but you're still being judged by five people that have 5 different opinions of all different ages and backgrounds. So you have to make sure that you're hitting the mark and kind of thinking about all of those different aspects and not just coming in and saying, well, this is who I am and this is what I want to do. There
Mhm.
still has to be a little bit of consideration of the people that you're going to sit before and
Mhm.
their 5 opinions on your appearance.
Sure, I agree. And like I said, you're coming for the job, so you want to show them what you're going to look like. And I always talk about that too, and we'll wrap up with the personal interview as a lot of it, and you could probably speak upon it better than I can, that when you become Miss Gay America or Miss Gay Pennsylvania, you're going to events more and you're more as who you are on your daily basis, interacting with people, as opposed to the illusion when you're doing your prelims and things like that.
Yeah.
So they want to see what the people are going to get, and how you interact, and how you're going to help interact with people to build up the system.
You're right.
So I got a right answer in our interview.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I have to tell the story since we're on interview. So remember an interview at Miss Gay America, and we were standing out there and we were
Yes,
talking.
I do.
Didn't you go before me?
No, you went before me.
I was.
believe, and
No,
you were
before me because you were supposed to go in there and say good things about me.
No, I thought it was the other way around, and you never
Well, I
did.
would never say good things about you.
Right, I know that.
Yeah,
That's
so
why I
you
wouldn't
were in there first, and you were supposed to say good things about me. And I thought you had done it because I won overall interview. I'm like, that girl, I love her. She must have went in there and told them what a great person.
And I did. You asked them, I did. You asked all those judges that loved me so much, how much I talked about you. No, but I know we can just bounce. We'll just keep bouncing. But I just, what I enjoyed about that is that we had that connection, and for me, that helped. Not that, and I'm pretty good at personal interview. Like I do corporate training. I'm good at talking, but when you and I were chatting and being silly like that, that helped me bring my guard down to do that. Be your authentic self and just be silly and just like kind of go with it for yourself. And
Right.
That so I encourage other people to not, to engage with the other contestants and kind of, build that little bit of a bond, because that's what it's all about, and that's what we're there for as well.
Right.
So
Like I would say, when I used to compete in the beginning, I used to compete unhealthy. And by that, I mean, I used to be so obsessed with what I was doing, what everybody else was doing, what girl was competing, what she was doing. Is she going to be better than this? And the one thing that you have to realize is that you're competing against yourself. And I know that sounds cliche, but you're really competing against yourself. You are being judged on a score sheet that says what you did. It's not what she did. So it really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're trying to maximize the most amount of points that you can. So plan, prepare, stress. When you get to the pageant, let it all go. There's nothing you can do about it. You're there. You've been prepared. So now relax, enjoy yourself, network. That's a great way to get bookings all over the country. And like I was told before from somebody, every time you do a national pageant, it's like doing a Super Bowl commercial. So no matter whether you win or lose, as long as you went up there and you gave your best and people saw you, it keeps you relevant and it keeps people talking about you. And sometimes the people that don't win the pageant, I know there was a couple of times that I didn't win, but I reaped a lot of rewards just from presenting myself in that way. So keep that in mind. It's not always just about winning or the crown, or if you're going to be beat. You could also gain a lot of opportunities from this without even winning.
And I think, and you know what, and I think you can, like, we can both speak upon it. Like, I'm going back for a third year, and you competed for 5 years, so there's something to be said when you look at it in that sense, where it's like you can't just be disappointed because you didn't get the brass ring right away, because it's that journey that's getting you there is your brass ring.
It took me 6 times over 10 years, a decade. When I started competing at Miss Gay America, I was young.
Is that like a rite of passage? Am I going to have to compete 7 times?
No, Pataya won it on her first time.
Okay, well, okay.
Longer to figure it
out. I'll figure. After all these lives, if I haven't figured it out, then there's a problem.
Okay.
So let's pretend we had the best personal interview ever. We knocked it out of the ballpark. We asked the judges if we could shake their hands, and they agreed. So we shook hands, and I bid them adieu. Mm-hmm. So now it's time that I always like. What's that?
Is there medicine for that?
What, to bid adieu?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called me sashaying away. That's the medicine. It's me crying outside. The tears are the freaking medicine.
Did you cry in your interview?
I did. My first year I did in PA when Dexasy was behind me listening, and
I cry when she's in the room too, so I understand that.
She's probably watching.
I have to work with her.
I live.
I work with her this weekend. Sorry.
But I could just feel that, I had to cry because she likes that emotion,
Yeah.
But no, I cried because I got more sensitive about family stuff, and I think at that first year I was more talking about who I was and like in myself and not my business aspect of it. And then as you grow, you kind of get a little stronger with that piece of it. So I learned how to integrate, and I think because I'm so business, my brain doesn't compute to crying. But, sometimes I get a little choked up, which is okay. It's okay. You can cry. You don't have to cry. It's just as long as you're putting yourself out there, right?
Right. As long as you can poise yourself and keep it together.
Now I have to ask, did you cry this year?
An interview?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. You're stoic. I couldn't see that in you.
It takes a lot. Like, I have cried in an interview one time before, and it was probably my lowest scoring interview. Um,
They're like that blobbering mess.
yeah, what? Yeah, it was, yeah.
So I do want to talk about, because I haven't talked just about this on a live before, is that there's a space between personal interview and then before the pageant gets ready. And I kind of want to maybe highlight that a little bit to give some tips and tricks to the contestants that are competing for the state levels as well as nationals. Well, nationals is a little different, so we can talk more about the state level for PA. But so after we do orientation, you're free to go and load in and get all your stuff ready at the venue. And then there's also audition times, or not, excuse me, rehearsal times. And usually it's up to the discretion of the person, the reigning, and who's running it. That's going to allot the amount of time, but it's usually 10 to 15 minutes for each contestant and then moving forward. But is there any tips for you about maybe getting set up for success, as far as, because I think they have their what's it called, the lockdown, which will usually be like a half hour, 45 minutes before the doors open. So as the contestants are getting, what's that?
What do you mean by lockdown?
Lockdown, I call it, because so like contestants have to be in the dressing room with their
Oh,
dressers for
like
roll call. Roll call.
oh,
Roll
roll
call.
call. Okay, let's call it lockdown. Sounds so bad.
It means I'm locking my eyes on each
Oh, that's
contestant.
not what I took from it. I took, like, you were locked in a room, and
Well,
I mean,
I'm a
Pennsylvania.
Virgo. I'm a Virgo. I like control. Okay.
Okay,
All
I'm a
right.
Leo.
So
I'm just
So before roll call, you have that 4 hours of time. Is there any tips or tricks that you want to maybe throw out there that you've seen that works for people?
I personally, first of all, you have to trust your people. If you have people that are supposed to be doing your props, or supposed to be getting things together for you, whatever you have assigned somebody to do, obviously you trust them enough to ask them. So trust your people. Allow them to do what they do, and you can only control what you do. It's the same with dancers. You know, you see girls and talent sometimes looking to see where their dancers are and what's going on. You have to just trust them and let go and do what you do, because the more you're searching for them, or the more you're checking on your team to see what they're doing, it's kind of taking away from your mental space and what you need
Yeah.
to be doing. For me, I always like to take like a long shower and just listen to like some kind of soft, like Kenny G and your kind of music, and just like almost in the dark, and just clear my thoughts, and then start putting on my makeup, listening to my favorite songs, kind of building that energy up, and then go downstairs and I just pretend it's another show. I take the competition part out of it. I have to
Yeah.
perform. I have to perform 2 numbers tonight on the stage. I have to perform in this beautiful dress, and I have to perform in this talent. And at the end, the show's over, and maybe I have a crown.
But you did have a crown.
Well, this time.
This time, what is that supposed to mean?
I've been first runner-up twice. I've been third runner-up. Yeah, it's not.
I just didn't know if there was things in the future that you have envisioned.
Oh, we'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so I also I always have to say, take advantage of the time that you get to be on stage. And even if you're doing a solo number, it's a great idea to just get on that stage and just move your body around a little bit, just to kind of get the feel for it, so it's not foreign for when you actually do your talent. Unless you're a magnificent singer, like some people I know, they can just get up on stage and tear it up. So, which you still should do your sound check, right? To make sure you're
in the shoes you're going to wear for your talent. That way, you know what that's going to feel like on that
feels
floor.
like, right. What if there's a little bit of unbalancedness in the stage? I agree. What else can I say? I always like to set up my station. I always like to try to make sure I'm around people, so I'm not secluded, because I think it's important to engage with my peers of contestants. And that's just something I like to do, because if I'm not there having fun with everyone around me, why am I even there? You
Right.
know what I mean? What's the point of me doing what I'm doing? So I just always, like I said, I'm a Virgo, so everything's in a bin, everything's labeled, everything's ready to go, everything's step by step. So hopefully you're like that, or maybe not as aggressive, instead
I
of
just
just
have the right people,
and
because I have ADD and it's just all over the place sometimes. So luckily, I have the right people.
I actually have to say, throughout the course of all the things I've done, I've had the right people. So I give them always a shout out, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for them.
That's good, because I give them a shout at.
Maybe no, that's not true. I don't shout. You know what? I don't shout at them though. I want to be that person. Can you teach me how to
No.
be that shouting?
No.
All right, so let's move forward to for my state prelim, there's no presentation category, but there will be a presentation category for the nationals. So, and are we allowed to say what that is yet, or
We are.
do you want to
Oh, you want me to
say?
say it? I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. The presentation theme for Miss Gay America this year, and we're encouraging the audience to dress as well because we're having some audience fun things too. It's a night at the MGA Gala, so like a spin on the Met Gala. The
Fabulous.
category is avant-garde, so basically we're looking for like wearable art.
I love it. Oh, and that it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. I meant my costume, whatever. But no, it's going to be really good, and you're going to see a lot of. And what I like about that is it gives everyone an opportunity to really stretch their creative minds of something that they want to do. You're not just putting them in a box of like super specific, which I like.
Sometimes it's hard, like when you have such a broad spectrum of things you could do, it kind of makes it hard to narrow down what you want to do. But it's a fun category because you can do pretty much anything.
You can, and I think that here's a suggestion if anyone's trying to just go with your gut.
Yeah.
Go with your gut. You can't go wrong. And don't dress like a gut. That would be kind of weird. But I mean, I guess you could. It's avant-garde.
I mean,
it's avant-garde. Okay. So
are you giving your costume away?
No.
No
one watches this little silly thing anyway. It's fine. They'll never know. So we'll start off with usually it's gown. Okay. So the gown is the big night, and the contestant has already done their prelim for their city, and now they're ready to do their fabulous gown for state. They picked up all the goods and bads critiques from the judges. A couple of things that I always like to mention is that when you are wearing your garment, you're selling the garment, and really just feel that. Like you should feel like $1 million because you look like $1 million. And if I want to buy that garment, I want to know that I'm going to feel like $1 million too. Do you feel like there's there could be, like, how you say, make sure you smile, but don't smile too, like, can you smile too much, or is there like
I would rather somebody smile than be like serious and
like this the whole time?
Well, I mean, you don't have to be that cheesy, but like.
Oh, I do have a question. So, sorry, I'm just going to move forward from the smile. So hands, right? Because I keep seeing my hands move up and down. But is there a rule of how high you can put your hands?
There's no rule, but you don't want to go like above your shoulders. Like there's a couple of ways that I like to think of evening gown. Number one is like imagine that you're neck deep in water. And think about how your body moves through water. Your body doesn't make sudden jerk reactions underneath water. It's very fluid and it has force against it. So think about that when you're moving your arms and things in your evening gown. And also like think about when you're performing like a sultry song or something and how you kind of move your body when you're performing that. So listen to the song that you're walking to and kind of move your body in a way that you're performing without lip syncing the song.
That would be me. I would be lip syncing the song.
Well, to an instrumental, that's hard to do, but I can't wait to see it.
I'll make up my own lyrics. I'm known to do that. So I always like to point out the basics too, that we have the 3 points. It's the upside down triangle. So you always hit the back first, and then you can either go left or right. A lot of people go to the right and keep going around. I usually say, for us, we usually have 1.5 minutes to do your gown walk. So I say, if you just take your time and hit those 3 points and give them the nice turn, give them a minute to soak it all in, or 30 seconds in each point to soak it in, you should be able to make it around those 3, hit your center, and be done. Because I find people will go too fast, and then they're kind of just bopping around, and they kind of lose a little bit of their direction. So, and that's something I've been telling a lot in my orientation is make sure you just take your time, give that 20 to 30 seconds for each point, and then you should be good to go.
And if you stop, like we're entertainers, so if you stop thinking about the gown and the competition and the judges, and you just listen to the music and move your body to the music, it'll make all the difference in the world.
You gave me 2 good gems, and I'll tell you, that was the walking underwater thing and dancing to the music, or like moving to
every year at Miss Gay America.
You what?
6 years I won evening gown. Well, not the first year, but all the other years I won evening gown. So I love that category.
Well, this past year, it was beautiful on you. So It fits you just right. And we could talk about that too, actually, the fit. It's important to make sure that, you have the correct contour on your body, making sure it doesn't have lumpy areas or bunchy areas or something where it's too tight, where it stretches a little bit. I think
The
that's always.
mistake I think I made the most in gown is I was trying so hard to be out of the box fashion different that the gown for 2 years became so cumbersome that I couldn't model the way I wanted to. So
Mhm.
it made me stiff, and I don't like to model stiff. So what I gained in maybe fashion, I lost in modeling. Well, modeling is a subcategory for 25 points, and fashion is not. So I was giving up points I didn't need to give up. So this year I went back to the basics of having a gown that's easy to move in, that I feel comfortable in, and that I feel like I look great in.
I think you even say it best, and you said it. You don't want to lose a point because you're competing against who? Yourself.
Right.
And if you have that, I look at for me mentally. I say I have a perfect score, and it's my fault if I'm getting deducted points in a sense, meaning like I want to try and keep those points as long as possible, and then so that's why it's important to read the handbook and just listen to the details and whatnot. So then I'm gonna miss. Or I'm trying not to miss out on losing any points.
Right.
If I said that correctly.
Can I address tattoos since we're on gown?
What's that?
Can I address tattoos since we're on gown?
Yes, absolutely.
So you may or may not know that this year Miss Gay America has allowed tattoos. We used to have to cover them up, which I think is a great thing. They're making great. Michael and Rob, Mad Angel Entertainment are making great steps to kind of progress forward. The thing I want to say about tattoos is yes, they are allowed, but you have 5 judges that are sitting there with their opinions of all different ages and backgrounds. And so they have their opinion on if the tattoo is distracting or not. For example, if you have like a butterfly tattoo on your hand or you have like something little on your shoulder or whatever, great. But if you have on a strapless dress and you have on a fire breathing dragon coming up your neck and your back, that may be distracting and not the most flattering thing for the gown that you're trying to wear. So, yes, you can wear your tattoos out. And yes, the judges cannot take off because you have a tattoo, but it is up to them to decide if it's cohesive with what you have on or if it's distracting.
Sure. And I think that's great. Like I said, I agree. Put yourself out there, but don't distract so it takes away from what you're actually there for. And that just goes with personal interview too. Don't bring a big suitcase with you into your
Oh my
personal
God, please don't bring in paperwork and bags and suitcases. Leave all that out there. Don't bring
interview.
gifts. Just
I've
bring.
seen that. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so where are we at? Oh, so we're just doing gown. Just remember, no snags, no runs, no
Don't wear fishnets and gown, please.
and also, I do have a question actually. For gown, you know how there's a difference between like the stirrups tights and the regular tights? Do you get points off if you can see the stirrup line?
You mean like at the bottom of your foot? Or you
Yeah.
mean like you have them pulled up and they're in your tight ankle?
No, like they have like tights that just wrap underneath
Yes,
the middle of your
yes.
foot. So
And
if
they
you
have a
do
little
like
hole at
two,
the bottom, like to slip your toes out?
yeah, so if you
Yeah.
have two of those and then a regular one, but you
Uh-huh.
can see on the regular one the line of it.
I
I guess
mean, you want everything to be like cohesive, but if they're looking
yeah.
at your varicose veins that's closely, then that's what it looks like is a big vein almost. So
I mean, as the nurse that I am, I run a
yeah,
high risk of getting varicose
yeah,
veins.
there
Thank
you
you.
go. I mean,
Um,
I don't if it's distracting, if it catches my eye, if it's something that stands out, you know.
yeah, I kind of, as I was asking, I answered my own question because it kind of sounded like it's an obvious. They'll be looking at that, being like, "What is that? Is it a varicose vein? Is it a tight? I don't
Right.
know." Okay, so I think that's cool. And I love it. Just I loved how you said walk with your hands under the water and then like up to your neck and then also walk to the music, forget about it being in the competition, forget it that all that, and just enjoy entertaining in
Because
your
if the gown fits right, it's not gonna go anywhere. So
yeah,
relax, move your
just
body. Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to take that little one with me. Let's talk about on stage question. So on stage question, I know that the contestant will have about a whisper of time to introduce themselves. And I usually say a fun fact or something interesting about yourself that you want to give a message to the audience. I usually encourage them not to say hi, I'm your contestant number 7, Miss Morgan. I'm vying for the time. Like all that stuff kind of just eats up to let's get to the fun facts about you. After the fun facts happen, then the proctor will have you select your number or your question. Once your question is selected, the proctor will read your question twice, and then you'll have an opportunity, if you want to or not, to read the question. And then the moment you start talking is when you start getting scored, correct?
Correct.
I always like to say, even if you don't want to, even if you already know the answer, it's in your back pocket, ready to go. Look at don't even look at the question, just look at the paper and take a deep breath and say, this is your moment to share what you already know you want to say. Because
even if you're trying to formulate an answer, look at that paper and just stare at it. Don't make it long, take just a couple of seconds, but it's your way of really focusing what you want to say and not just spurting out what comes out of your mouth and getting lost.
I agree. I always like to encourage contestants not to speak too lengthy where you get lost in the answer, but also don't say too short where you're not even answering the question in full.
Well, one of the subcategories is did you answer the question? Basically, answer content. So when you get the microphone, answer the question. From there, you can support the answer that you gave, but don't give the judges the opportunity to wonder if you answered the question or not. You know, like you said, you don't need the thank you, judges, my name is, or my question reads. Just answer the question. The first thing out of your mouth should be the answer to the question that was asked, and then support the answer that you gave.
I think it's perfect. And and I always go back to the fact, just speak from your heart. And just kind of
personality. Like you don't want to be out. Think about like if you're hosting a corporate event, you want to have some personality. Of course, you want to cuss, talk about sex, that sort of thing. That's why I say corporate event. But you want to have a little bit of personality about yourself and be relaxed and not just like interview. You don't want to be just so straight laced giving an answer.
Now, here's a question for you. Can you be a little bit too relaxed answering the question?
Yeah, because if you look at the subcategories, one of them is personality, and the very next one underneath it is poise. So there's a line there. Yeah.
Good. Perfect. I'm just letting you know I'm paying attention. So I love that. Yes. And just, I think I always just say, go with your gut and don't question what you're saying, and just say it with conviction as well.
What if you have bubble guts?
What's that?
What if you have bubble guts? Like you still go with your gut?
Oh, honey, then you go check the bathroom before you get on the stage and move your life along. Okay. Or hit it up when you're done, when I'm crying backstage. I love that. Now everyone knows exactly what I'm going to be thinking when I'm on stage answering my question. Now everyone's going to know what I'm going to be wearing. Okay, thanks.
Never mind. Go ahead.
I know. Let's talk about the fun stuff, because I don't want to keep you too long. I feel like I could chat with you all night and just banter, but I don't want to hold you up too much because I know you're a busy person. So let's just dive into talent real quick. And then I want to, we'll talk just a whisper about that. And then I want you to kind of paint a picture for the critiques, because I think that's something I haven't talked about yet. And I think it's one of the things that I love. I love a lot of things about the America system, but that's a big piece of why I love it so much. So with talent, it's 6 minutes long.
6 minutes.
And that is it.
It doesn't mean you have to use the whole 6 minutes.
Yes, that is correct.
If you're not doing some great dancing or something's not changing in your talent every 30 to 60 seconds, if it's just doing the same note over and over, get on and get off.
Do you think that there's and this is the first time me asking this question, do you think that there could be too short of a number?
Yeah, I mean, you want to at least be out there for at least 3 minutes. You don't want to be under that, but you don't want to be out there. So the longer you're out there, the more time they have to pick you apart, and the more opportunity you have for this little subcategory that says entertainment value to lose entertaining them. You may lose their attention.
Yeah.
It's that kind of, now people's attention are like this. So something in your talent needs to be constantly changing or flashing or something to keep them entertained and not make them feel like this talent's taking too long.
I agree. I just literally just got done rehearsing as well. And I have to always remind myself, I have to put my all out there and dance just with these, as good as these dancers, because if they're shining more than me or giving more of that personality or character than I am, I can lose points for that too. If I'm being outshined. I always talk about it's important to know your steps, and it's also why you're doing your steps, making sure you're lip syncing as well at the same time. Because I feel like I've seen sometimes where people stop singing because they're focused on their steps. So you can lose a lot of points just for stop lip syncing.
Yes. But also, you're the star. So if you get to a part where maybe you lose the choreography, don't stand there and try to fix yourself on it. Step out and be the star. And when you're comfortable with where the choreography is, mix back in. There's nothing wrong with that.
I have a fun little fact that I just learned at my last prelim, that when you have dancers and you're doing your lip sync, and if there's chorus or another voice in your track, try and have your dancers do that point.
Yes.
They must. You hear that? You hear that, everyone? They must.
And in your track, if you're the star, you don't sing the backup. Only sing your part, not the backup.
See, but you know, it's wild because when you get into it, it's so hard sometimes. But that's why practice makes perfect. Yeah. So for the talent, props are great, but you don't want to do too much props, right? Because then that can be a distraction.
Everything you put on the stage is judged. So
and if you don't have a reason for it, don't put it on there, because it's just like if you put a chair on the stage and nobody even touches the chair, you just confused everybody and distracted the judges.
A lot of places have screens now, so use that screen to your advantage and help use the screen to help you tell the story, but not take away from what is happening on the stage.
And that's I agree, such a good balance. So I also think it's very important to mention for the contestants that haven't heard it yet, that when talent is happening and you have your team around you, because they've been supporting you all day, they know what the prop pieces are, they know how to set them up, they know how to tear them down, and it's important that they do execute that properly, because you don't want to take too long on stage, because you can get deducted points for taking an extended amount of time if you need, or also if they have to clean up the stage and things like that, that can be detrimental to points too.
Right. So it's 3 minutes setup, 2 minutes takedown.
That's it. Why is it less to take down than, do you know the answer to that? I'm just curious.
That's what the book says now.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
For timing, I guess. I'm thinking because, talent gets shorter. I think it's all just about making this pageant not be 7 hours long.
I agree. Okay. Is there any fun? Why don't we ask a fun question with you?
Can I say something about talent?
Yes.
Before we get off of it, first, for so many years, I picked talents that I thought that they wanted to see. I picked like Broadway stuff. I've done things that aren't things that I do on an everyday show. It wasn't until I thought like Bohemian Rhapsody is what I won with. This is a song that I've done for years on my shows, and it's one of my favorite numbers to do, and the audience usually loves it. So why don't I turn this into a talent? Those usually make the best talents because you're already comfortable with the number. It's already your style of performance. You're just making it a production. And so those are the things you need to think about when you're making a talent. Don't think about what do they want to see. Think about what am I comfortable doing and what do I do the best, and make a production out of that.
I love that. Even, and I have to say something I'm teaching myself is, what song do I enjoy? It's not a matter of if they know it or not.
Right.
It's, do I enjoy it? Because if I'm enjoying it and I'm having a good time up there, more than not, they're going to have a good time with you.
Yeah. But also, like if you're doing a talent that is a reference like to TikTok, or a reference to a video, or a reference to a TV show, make sure that you tell a complete story, because you have, again, 5 judges that are from all different ages and backgrounds. You want to make sure that all of them know what the story is. Am I back? Okay. Don't make them have to rely on knowing that reference to get the story. Make sure you tell a complete full story.
I love it. And we'll just quickly tag on to the talent and ask you, what was your favorite talent you ever did?
Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody for sure.
That was it. That was the one. I do love a good Bohemian Rhapsody. And I think it's also important to remember that you can do that, because it's the male. It's Freddie Mercury's voice.
No, it's Pink. I do the version from Pink.
I didn't even know she.
Yeah. It's a Pink live version.
That's fabulous. I just went to the Pink concert. Not a little side note. I was thinking of you because you did a fabulous job with it.
Thank you.
Okay, so how about with your talents? Is there any talent that you're like, I wish I could have did this a little bit differently, that I could have done better?
The second time I competed at Miss Gay America, I did a Pat Benatar talent, which was great. But we had all these big props and sets that had to move. And the first night, I'm sure people know this story, but the first night we were there, somebody broke in our trailer and stole a lot of my props and tools and things like that. So my husband and his brother rebuilt some of the stuff. The second morning, we wake up and get a phone call that they found the trailer somewhere else and they had broken into it again and stole all that stuff again. So then we had to purchase that stuff again. And this time we got them to give us a hotel room to put it in the hotel.
Yeah.
And then on final night, I had this big drum that was on the top of these stairs, and I was sitting inside the drum and it was supposed to turn. Well, it didn't turn. So when they took it, I had to climb out of it. But when they took it all apart, there was like paper towels and stuff stuffed down into that spindle, so it stopped it. So that was just a nightmare of a week for me. And it wasn't anything that we could have predicted or helped or done. But if I could ever do it over again, I would not do that week again.
You would check for toilet paper is what you
I would do a lot of, I don't know what I would do, but that was the worst week of competing I've ever had.
But you know what though? You came back.
But let's be real, that's the year that Asia O'Hara won, and nobody was going to beat her anyway, so it really didn't matter.
That one, super. Cool. I would love to get. I'm trying to get her to do this too, because she's fabulous.
I actually crowned her Miss Texas.
Well, can you call her and tell her that she needs to do this with me?
You don't listen to me.
Fine. What if we'll attack her together? Maybe she's watching right now. Okay. So where are we in our fun? So we just did talent. I'm going to give the floor to you for just a minute, if you don't mind. And just kind of, can you paint a picture of what the critiques are like? And then kind of a little bit about that.
You know, I used to appreciate that everyone in the pageant got, like when there was a top 10, everyone in the top 10 got critiques. But I hated how long it lasted. And I can only imagine now as the title holder and as judges that just made that night go on forever, because when the pageant is over, you just want to be done. But the fact is now we only give live critiques to the winner, the first runner-up, and sometimes the second runner-up, depending on the pageant and the timing of the venue. Everyone gets their critique sheets still, and you can contact the judges. You can contact the state or national title holder and get their opinion if they were there. But for critiques, I like to have each judge kind of give one category and what they thought of that category. And then like if there's a Miss Gay America that's on the panel, then I like to get them to give like an overall of everything at the end of the critiques. But the critiques should only last 5 to 6 minutes. It shouldn't go on forever.
Right.
The contestant is tired too, and they just got done competing, and they're not soaking all of this in anyway. They're thinking about what they did and how it went and how they got first runner up and why they're sitting here. So there's no use in going on and giving every judge a chance to talk about every category. It's just too much. So the first and alternate, second alternate winner, they get about 5 to 6 minutes of their critique, and then after that, they can reach out for more.
Sure. And I think that's the best thing, is that you have that short amount of time, but the judges are going to go through a lot of information and just be that sponge. Don't be defensive, be the sponge, because they're going to give you a lot of the negatives, which is good, because that means you got to the point that they're going to read you for filth. So then they're going to set you up for success for your pageant, which I thought is brilliant. And then, so you receive. I usually don't even ask questions. I just want to hear, because if I'm asking questions, it takes up time to receive information.
It's okay to ask questions. Like if it's a talent that you did, like you're doing a talent in Miss Pennsylvania and you want to take it to nationals, you want to know what are those things that I missed, or what could I do to make this talent better, or should I even take this talent? Should I take it? It's okay to ask questions, but it's not like to waste time would be like they say you had this gown and it had this wrinkle here. Oh, well, I had so and so try to take that wrinkle. That doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Right. I get you. Right. And then also, the best part is after you sponged it up and you get your critique sheets and everything, and it should have a little bit of layout on there too. I always say to the contestants, make sure you reach out to the judges. And I don't speak for them, because I look at them too and I say, and you're good. And then they're more than happy to digest it a little bit more for you and answer other questions you may have, or they want an embellishment of an answer or a comment that had made on the critique. So I was just encouraged that, because if you're not receiving this information, then how are you going to grow? And I just think it's the best, because it's basically the judges are setting you up for success.
Right.
And pushing.
For whatever reason, you can't reach the judges. Most of the time, the title holder is taking notes, or should be taking notes. And if you reach out to them, then they will have notes for you as well.
I agree. I think it's fabulous. And like I said, I just love it because it's an opportunity to make it about the contestant. it's their moment. So it's just special. So yeah. And then so that's the whole pageant in an hour, no big deal. So I know that we kind of skimmed through the different
We didn't
categories.
talk about presentation for nationals. Should we wait on that, or you want me to give some tips on that?
You're more than welcome to right now, and I know that the people that are watching now will help share it to the new crownings coming up too. So yeah, definitely.
So for nationals, when presentation is judged, first you get to get called out, and the audience gets to see you, and you get your little 5 seconds or whatever for all the contestants to be called out. But you get this opportunity to go off stage, and not very long. It's very quick, maybe a couple of minutes, to add something, to change something, to make it bigger, to make it better. I always took that opportunity. Like what you saw me wear out when they introduced the contestants was not the only thing I had on when it was time to be judged. I think there's something to be said about the element of surprise. And if there's anything that you can do once you're out there to make it like move, to make it light up, to make
Mhm.
it do something that's more than just what they're looking at. So that gives them one more, I mean, I've done presentation 4 times and won 3. That's my favorite category. So
Let's not talk about your presentation with this year, ma'am. That was
yes,
it was beautiful. It was
yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you. And that was a recycled presentation. I had done the carousel before in 2017 when Deva won, but it was steampunk, and so we just repurposed it. Just to say this, everybody always thinks they have to spend a bunch of money, come up with a new talent, a new gown, a new idea. This year, when I got ready for Miss Gay America, I took a piece of everything that I had done in the past that I had gotten first place in or scored the highest in,
Mhm.
and I put it all together in one package. So nothing that I brought to Miss Gay America this year was new. I had done it all before, but it was all things that had been first place here, first place there. So I
Yeah.
just put them all together, and the outcome.
Wow. That's cool. And then that's amazing that you were able to just take those beautiful gems and put it together and look what happened.
Yeah, you don't always have to redo and repurpose.
I agree. And save that money, honey,
Yeah,
when you're buying those cocos for when you're on the road doing each prelim.
right. No.
No. So, well, we're almost at that hour and I told you 45 minutes, but I just love talking to you so much and you're just an amazing person. And
That's not what you said at DragCon, but I appreciate that now.
you know what happens at DragCon stays at DragCon. And
Oh,
you know what,
sorry.
since you brought it up,
Yeah.
so I have a charity called Nurse Morgan Helps that every year I go out to Los Angeles at the DragCon convention, RuPaul's DragCon convention. And this year I was blessed and lucky to have the reigning Miss Gay America by my side. And that's something that was really cool for me because I was able to take my charity and my passion and put it together in one moment. And it was just, I'll never forget it. You have no idea how much that meant to me that you were there and you were present and you worked hard to try and help raise that money with us. And that I can't take it back. So I look
Well, I
forward
have to
to,
tell you that I appreciate you including the Miss Gay America system in your booth because we were the only pageant system that was there. There was no other pageants there that were being represented in a booth. And I was told many times that it was nice to see that pageants were involved in the DragCon and that there was somebody there representing a pageant system. I was also asked if I just made up the title and gave it to myself because they didn't understand what Miss Gay America was. So it was also great to be able to have that outreach and tell people what Miss Gay America is about that maybe didn't
yeah.
even know.
And that's the way to keep bringing people in to show the excellence that we are. And I
Yeah.
love it. Speaking of excellence, oh, by the way, we did raise really good money and I did donate it to the Mazzoni Center here in Philadelphia that helps provide services, health care services for youth and trans youth as well. And then also the Los Angeles LGBTQ Center too. So it was just, I like to split on East Coast, West Coast. So
I'm still waiting for my cut, but that was great.
I thought I put that in your bag on your way out. The parting gift. So let's leave it at speaking of excellence. Do you mind if I just kind of, put you on the spot? And I always like to ask everyone who I'm interviewing what their meaning of excellence is.
For me, I think excellence can be about the way you make people feel. And what I say about that is I feel like excellence should be integrity and compassion and all of those things that because you're there to make sure, as Miss Gay America, as Miss Pennsylvania, or as any title holder, when you're overseeing a prelim, you're there to make sure that things are ran fairly. You're there to make hard decisions that are not always popular, because you have to make sure that things are fair. These girls and guys have spent a lot of money putting this together. They don't want to be cheated. Everybody wants their fair shot, and this is the only system that does that. So being excellence means living with the most integrity, living with compassion, being able to connect with other people, and being able to inspire. If people want to do what you do or have what you have, then you're inspiring others, and in that way you're walking in excellence.
I love it. Well, you sure inspire me, and I'm
Thanks.
thankful, and I feel so lucky and blessed that you took the time out of your busy schedule to join me tonight and share a little bit of getting down to excellence. So I appreciate you very much.
Thanks for
So
having me. I hope your ratings didn't dip.
actually, this is the most for viewers going on right now.
Great.
So
I paid a lot of people.
is that all your family and friends on there? I see.
You have to do a
Uh,
check.
No, I love it. All right, I will let you go. I
Right.
appreciate
Thank you.
spending the time. Get some sleep, and have a great rest of your prelims. And I will definitely be seeing you soon.
All right. Thank you. See
All
y'all
right,
soon.
thank you. Oh my gosh, what an amazing interview. I definitely just was very blessed to have Miss Gay America take the time out of her day to give us a little bit of information on the viewpoints of the pageant system. Before I let you all go, I know I hit my hour, but I just want to touch upon a couple more things that are going on with Pennsylvania. The right now for the pageant is happening on November 16th, and we are advertising right now official programs. And with the programs you can purchase for advertising, right now there is a rundown for the different price points for each. You can do a half a page, you can do a full page, you can do 2 pages, you could do the whole book if you want to. But we are now, it's now live that you are able to start inquiring about purchasing your spot for the official program for Miss Gay Pennsylvania. I also want to talk about where it's going to be at on November 16th. It's the Sunnybrook Ballroom, and that's 50 Sunnybrook Road, Pottstown, PA. And tickets are live right now. You can check out my page. You can also check out the MGPA Facebook page, as well as the Miss Gay Pennsylvania America.com website as well. There is still VIP admission tickets. We also have general admission tickets. And just to let you know, that pageant will start at 6 p.m. So we have a lot of things going on that day. So definitely make sure you get your cozy shoes on, and we'll make sure they're comfortable chairs. And I just know you're going to love everything that all these contestants are going to put out, because we have 14 fierce competitors vying for the crown of Miss Gay Pennsylvania America 2024. But before I go, I must say I was a little nervous getting on because I was interviewing Miss Gay America, that I didn't do justice to all the contestants that are competing November 16th. And I want to officially go through my list of all their fabulous names and not mess them up, because they are all important to me, and I'm lucky to have them with me on November 16th. So running through, my first prelim was Miss Gay New Hope, and that was the winner is Katrina Escalarza, and her first alternate is Jayla Rosemore. We also, the second one, which was my step down, was Miss Gay Central PA. Anita Dixon won the crown, and Nikita Sin Monroe is the first alternate. The next one, the third, was Miss Gay Philadelphia. The winner was Lucy Moth, and her first alternate is Zia Maravilla. Following that was Miss Gay Nipa, which the winner of that crown was Trixie DeFlair, and her first alternate is Calliope. So excited to see what they have to bring this year. The next one was Miss Gay Harrisburg, which was Felicia Puss Puss, and then her first alternate is Eileen O'Brien. Next, we have Miss Gay's Gettysburg, which the crown for that one was Mandy Mango, and her first alternate was Kendralise DeQuest. And finally, to wrap it up of 7 prelims, we have Miss Gay Pittsburgh, which was Mia Ho Moore, and her first alternate was Miss Angelique. Thank you so much for spending time with me tonight. I had such a blast talking to Miss Gay America, Miss Desi Lowe Blake, and I cannot wait to see you all soon. I will be posting our next interviewee very soon. Make sure you check out MissGayPennsylvaniaAmerica.com to get your tickets, and we also have merch still available on them too. Have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.